Hi guys, this is just going to be a quick video. I just want to show you guys a job that we are potentially going to do. This is a job that I actually showed a little bit of in one of the videos I did. If you guys remember, I did a video where I was showing a wall that couldn't be rendered and what can happen, and that the wall needed to come down and stuff. So I'm actually at that site now, and I'm actually going to show you guys probably the worst sort of Cowboy Builder job that I've probably seen. I want to go through it, and I'm going to show you a couple of potential issues and things that can happen, and I'm going to explain to you some of the issues that needs to be addressed and how they'll be addressed. And we possibly will be taking this job on. This is, to be honest, I do try to stay away from jobs like this, but I've sort of got to know or been a friend of a family of these people, so I'm sort of I'm gonna take it on, but I just wanted to come and sort of go over a couple of things and that. So I've come here to make a video as well, just for my own reference, so I can go back with, and also I'm gonna show you guys a couple of the things that I basically gonna encounter while I'm here. So yeah, let's crack on and have a look. All right guys, so this is the bomb site. I won't call it a building site, I call it a bomb site. There is so much to go through here. I'm going to try and go through a couple of the things, a couple of the issues that are here, and some of the remedials, what we need to basically do to make it right. So let's have a look. Oh, so first things first is we got a drain inside here, so that drain needs to go. You can see there's a temporary pipe to the house. This is how it's been left for the last 2 or 3 years. It's a bit of a mess. So this drain is supposed to be outside. It should have been moved before the foundations were done, before the whole walls were up. It wasn't moved. I am assuming that the guy was expecting to get away with it staying inside, so it never moved, but it has to go. And somehow this drainage has to be moved outside. Now it's come to the understanding now that originally, basically, the customer wanted, oh well, should I say the customer? If you guys remember a video I did about rendering walls and waterproofing walls, I showed a drawing. This is actually the wall in the drawing that I showed you guys, and this wall basically is butting very close up to the neighbor's wall, so there's no space to render it from the outside. So this is the wall that actually had to come out. So this wall was going to come down. Pretty much the top of this bifold wall was going to come off, because the lintel that's up there, the cavity lintel, is deflecting and it's not able to hold the weight that's above it. So it was actually meant to come off. So the top of this was going to come out, and there's going to be a steel put in there. This wall was staying, but the window was going to be made a bit smaller. The window opening, due to fire issues, the opening is too big and too close to the neighbor's fence. So this was actually supposed to be made smaller. But now the plan is this whole wall is going to come down now. So it's this wall all the way from down there, all the way down, is coming out. And the client actually wants this wall to come in more, sort of in the center of these two doors roughly, because there was actually meant to be a door there to enter or to exit this room downstairs. At the moment, that room straight ahead of us has no light into it, no natural light, no windows, and it can't have any windows, because originally this used to be outside, and the house was actually, this was actually the wall of the house here, as you can see. So this used to be outside, so these doors led outside. So they want a single door here, so this wall actually has to move over, sort of roughly the center of those doors, and it's now going to come along here, and it's going to come all the way to sort of there. So the extension won't be as wide as it is now. So that's the plan for that. The ceiling is all wrong, or the roof is all going to go. There was issues brought up about the furrings. The furrings don't make it all the way. The rafters, instead of going this way, which is the way they're supposed to go, they're going that way, and they're not big enough for the spans, so they all have to come down. and it's just leaking all over the place, as you guys can see. If you look at the roof here, it's just very badly done. It's just leaking everywhere. So basically it's all coming down, this ceiling or this roof. This part again, it's leaking everywhere. All this is coming down. You can see there's a lot of acros here, which leads me to the structural issues of this house. This column, which is abysmal, is not strong enough to hold this beam up. It's coming down. There's also another sort of small column similar to that over there on the wall. It's going down. And the design is actually, there's going to be a concrete pillar here. So that, sorry, not concrete, a steel column here. So there'll be a foundation pad here, and there'll be one down there as well. There's a splice in the steel to come in here now, and this steel is also going to change. All these steels are undersized, so they all need to come out. This is the back corner of the house. This is a 3-story house. So this is the upper wall here, just above the steel here, and it also runs across, as you can see, the brickwork to it here actually runs across here. So you can see the gaps to the outside here. There's no flashing, obviously the roof wasn't finished. And this is holding the upstairs of the house. Now the house actually sank. There are major cracks upstairs to the 1st and 2nd floor, because when they were knocking the wall down, they didn't support this properly, and the house basically almost fell down, a 3-story house. So I don't know if that's when this job ended up stopping, but these guys just didn't know what they were doing. Basically, I was told that someone was upstairs and they ran downstairs because the whole house was basically falling, basically. It's crazy, like the story is crazy. So yeah, so it's just been crazy stuff that's going on there. So basically the plan is, at the moment now, this wall's coming down, this whole ceiling, everything is coming down. This whole place is just going to be cleared completely out. There'll be new foundations dug. These foundations were never checked by the building control, so nobody knows what sort of foundations there are here. So there's going to be new foundations here, and there's also going to be new foundations here, or at least we're going to have to dig and inspect what foundations are running across here. And the same for that wall before we rebuild that wall. And my guess is that the foundations are not going to be adequate, so it may need new foundations all the way around this extension. I'll show you guys the other side of this wall in a minute as well. Actually, we might as well just go outside. This place was left as an absolute tip by whoever was here. There's materials everywhere. So let me get this out of the way. As you can see, there's a cement mixer. There's bags of plaster that have expired in 2019. So these have been sitting there for a long time. This basically, the downstairs of this house has been left derelict for like 3 years. This is the garden. As you can see, it's a mess. This is the outside. I mean, some interesting brickwork here, you guys can see. So yeah, it's just a bit of a nightmare. I think there's an issue as well with the DPC, in that the DPC is too low as well. So I think the whole thing's got to come down. You can see the upper part of the house here now as well. So you can see it's 2 stories up, and this is the side of the house. So there's meant to be a parapet wall around here as well. Let's see if we can get into that into the gap here and see. Apparently it's breeze block wall or something like that, or thermalites. Yes, you can see all the snot on the walls. Let's see if we can get up in there. Let's see if we can zoom in there a bit. So this is the thermalite walls that were left, and this is why this wall has to come down. So that's basically, yeah, that's what it looks like. So this whole wall's going to come down, and we need to inspect the foundations. So there will be a new steel here as well. When these walls are rebuilt, there'll be new steels. We're going to throw all these bricks away. There's no way we're going to be able to clean these bricks or reuse any of them. I just can tell now from the mortar. So it's going to be a matter of just chucking everything out. So there's going to be tons and tons of skips worth of stuff that's just gonna have to be a lot of clearing. So yeah, we've got our work cut out on this one. But yeah, basically, yeah, so obviously the ceilings are all supposed to be insulated. They're all supposed to have, you know, plasterboard and stuff. I'm going to show you guys something that's really interesting. I'm going to show you what these guys have done in the main part of the downstairs. There's this sand and cement render that's been done on all the walls. That's been done just really badly. I don't know why they just don't dab it, but that's basically what's been done. Coming down to here in the hallway, you can see the same thing with this sand and cement render, as you can see. So the whole downstairs has basically been condemned of this house, and everybody's living upstairs basically. There is no light in here, so actually I can't show you, but let me see if we can get some light. Yeah, so okay, you guys can see, I wanted to show you guys the ceilings, what it looked like, and how the ceilings have been plasterboarded. It's just been absolutely atrocious how everything has been done in here. Again, these walls, they're the same thing, where they've sort of had this sand and cement all over the walls, and then they put this bit of plasterboard here. I guess there was a doorway to go into or through lounge or something like that. They put some plasterboard here, so this house has got a lot of plastering to do. I mean, you can see the plastering on the walls here, what it looks like, just gouged everywhere. It's just absolute mess, and this could be such a beautiful house. It's just unreal what they've done here. Yeah, so let's go back out there again. I'm just trying to remember what some of the things were that were picked up that needed to be done. I mentioned about the drain, so yeah, that's going to be have to done. But basically, we have to get this entire thing cleared out. All these walls need to be opened out. We're obviously going to have to support the house using, I mean, these steels that are already there. There are acros here now. We're probably going to put a ton more acros. We're not going to take any chances here. We're going to have to support everything, and then we're going to have to take all these walls out, because at the moment this steel obviously rests in that wall here, and it also rests in that wall, as bad as they are. But these walls have to come out, so we need to take them out and rebuild them before we can put the new steels in. So the whole house is literally going to be being held up downstairs by acros, you know. So that's a job in itself, just to do that before we can actually do any work. So obviously the roofs and all that will come off, because that's a lot of weight that's hanging off the walls and hanging off everything. That will all come out, and all the walls, and then we're gonna have to support this whole 2-story house. And then we got to figure out what is going on with the foundations, and we're gonna have to do all these foundations here as well. So there was an original space here, you can see, where you can see some brickwork here, and it went across here as well. It went across here. There was an original sort of original extension, if you want to call it. I think it might have been the kitchen, because there's a lot of pipes over there. I think it was the kitchen. And then this was meant to go a bit wider, and it was meant to go longer. So that was the plan for it. So yeah, I think it's one of those jobs where we basically have just decided to just knock everything down, forget about remedial works, and just knock it all down and start again. All right, guys, so I've managed to get a ladder, so I'm going to actually go on the roof and have a look and see what is going on up here. Okay, so we are on, it's actually a felt roof, a very badly done felt roof. So I guess the felt roof is meant to slope here and exit through into a I can't remember the name now. Well, this is all bouncing up and down, so this is all rotten, so I need to be careful actually. And it's supposed to run down here. As you can see, all this dirt here, it's basically just been sitting here. Again, you guys can see here, this wood is fully rotten, and everything is just collapsing here. So I'm gonna come off here actually. Yeah, a bit of a mess. The parapet wall's not been finished, obviously, and it's just sort of a single skin there. It should have come through the double skin of the parapet wall, but it's only on the single. I think they did pick that up as well. So if you look at this parapet next door, you can see it's a double skin wall, whereas this is single skin, and the inner skin should have come up as well, and there should have been DPCs and all that sort of flashing and all that stuff should have been on there, but none of that is done, so it's no good. All got to come off. Yeah, so guys, this is probably the worst I have seen of an extension. It's really bad. But I think the best thing really, the client is, as they've just agreed to just, you know, accept it for what it is and just take the whole thing down and start back again. If you guys look upstairs, just above that window, you may be able to see some crack in here above the window, and that is basically, that's as a result of the house actually shifting down on the left hand side when they were basically removing the supports of the house. So as I said, the house has sort of moved a bit there. I mean, it's hard to tell from here, but from inside on the first floor, and you step on the first floor, you can clearly see, you can see the door frames, they're all twisted, everything's gone out. You can see here all the damage that's happened here on this is basically all just cracked. There's loads of blown plaster off inside the house where the walls have just cracked and completely come off the wall as a result when the house was sort of moving. There's actually some work, I think there was some work mentioned, some I think they're called Helifix bars that needed to be done as well somewhere out here. So I think there's some places where there needs to be some strengthening in these mortar joints and stuff, and where the cracks are. I'll have to find out exactly what parts that were to be done, but I think there's some of that to be done. Then these obviously need to be redone somehow. You can see next door here they've used tiles. This house across over here have actually used LED flashing, which looks quite nice. They've got a balcony, and I think the idea, like those two houses over there, is that the extension should have been very similar to that, with a outside space and the parapet walls and all that stuff. So I think that's what the plan is actually to do out here. So I need to speak to the customer about how we're going to finish it, whether they want it to be done in brick or if they want it to be done like next door in plaster. I'm not sure. I'm going to have the conversation about that, but yeah, this is pretty much the space. The garden, obviously, as you can see, is a mess. So yeah, I think that needs to be done as well at some time. So guys, that is it. I just wanted to show you guys this job, and it's heartbreaking to see this one. It's really, because I've never seen anything this bad. And just the things that you see some of the times, it's just unreal. I mean, I haven't seen this level of issues in one job. But I wanted to show you guys again, you know, things that can happen if, you know, you sort of are not aware of some of the things that I try to show in some of the videos, especially things about building control and making sure that you go through the necessary steps, inspections and all these things, which I totally understand. A lot of people just don't know about this stuff. They have no idea. You know, as with these customers, they've trusted somebody who's to do the job, who they've thought knew what they were doing, and they didn't, or they didn't care. You know, they didn't do any inspections. They was just doing whatever, and this is what can unfortunately happen as a result. So, you know, you might see us on this job. I think if we do this job, this is probably our last job for the year. We may sort of try and rescue this situation, but I will let you guys know, yeah, in the near future about that. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something from it. Let us know what you think as usual, and like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.